Hello, my friends. Do you want to eat healthy food? I know you do because you want to be healthy and it can be so confusing, but I'm going to show you broccoli sprouts, how to grow them, how to enjoy them. I'm Lynette, your intentional life coach, here to help you be the best you possibly can. So let me read to you from one of my favorite books, 101 Foods That Could Save Your Life. It says, broccoli sprouts are one of the most concentrated sources of an antioxidant called sulforaphane glucosinolate. Scientists discovered that a handful of 3-day-old broccoli sprouts contained as much as 20 to 50 times as much sulforaphane glucosinolate as 114 pounds of regular broccoli. What? Here is the Bible on Sprouting by Doug Evans, the Sprout Book, and in it he talks about broccoli sprouts as well. So, what has hit the news in their anti-cancer ability? Speaking of broccoli sprouts have been shown to kill cancer stem cells and slow tumor growth and are helpful in regulating and activating more than 200 different genes. What's also amazing is the bioavailability of sulforaphane in broccoli sprouts. According to the research, about 80% of what's ingested finds its way into the body's cells. Amazing. So, how do we make broccoli sprouts? Well, I've been growing them for about a year now, about once every week or two. And then I enjoy them on salads, but mostly on my avocado toast. I love them on my avocado toast. You start with good broccoli seeds. I got these on Amazon. I'll put a link below. They are heirloom variety, non-GMO. You want to start with a good seed. And a bag like this, 1 pound bag, lasted me for a year. So a little goes a long way. What you do is I just take a couple of tablespoons, and you don't have to measure it, but I take a couple of tablespoons and put them into a jar. And I'll show you the one I use, but I'm just going to put a couple of tablespoons in it. Just a little bit in the bottom. If you're making it for more than just one person, you probably want to put more, but just a little bit in the bottom. This is the jar that I use. And the important thing about your sprouting jar is it needs to have a mesh lid so that you can rinse and drain the seeds, because that's what you're going to do every morning and every night. But the first step is to cover these seeds with water and let them sit for 8 to 12 hours, because we're going to kind of soften the seeds and get them ready for sprouting. So that's the first step. And you can get this, again, they're everywhere. Sprouting has kind of made a big boom again. Used to be just the hippies would make sprouts, right? They were kind of the granola thing to do. But now we know they're a great benefit to our health. And so it's becoming more mainstream. And lately I've seen a ton of stuff about it. So you can go on Amazon and order them. I got this at my local health food store. And I like it. It doesn't have to be this big, but it's been a great jar for me. I've been using it, as I said, for over a year. So we're getting started with broccoli sprouts. I'll come back every day and show you the process. As I said, you're going to be rinsing it every night and every morning, and that's kind of the hardest part about broccoli sprouting, is that you can forget to do that. But you can set timers, you can remind yourself, and you will be really happy with the results. So next, we'll see how the seeds look after they've been in the water for a few hours. All right, my friends, it's been a few hours, and our broccoli seeds, I have rinsed them, drained them. You rinse them twice, and then they will look like this. So you can see they've gone from really dark to kind of brown. Some of them are popped open. And now we're going to put them on an angle in a cool, dark place. So I just use like a 9x9 pan. It works great for this one. They have all kinds of contraptions that you can turn them upside down on, but really it just needs to be able to drain the water and be on an angle. And then I just put them again in a dark cabinet, and in the morning I'll take them out and rinse them. And I'm going to show you every day the progression of the broccoli sprouts so that you can do this yourself. Here we are. It's the first morning of our broccoli sprout growing. I'm getting ready to go to work, but quickly I'm just going to take out the sprouts. And here they are on the first morning. Don't look a lot different than last night. They're about the same. So I'm just going to rinse them. Just turn on the cool water, rinse them all. You want it to just get wet, and then Drain it and do it one more time. And that's all there is to it. You're done. Now we'll come back tonight and see how they look after a day of growing. All right, here we are, end of the day, day one. Let's see how our sprouts are doing. So again, they're in a dark, cool place on an angle. Oh, do you see? They're starting to get a little bit of a growth there. So again, you can see they're dry, so we need to keep them damp to do their work. So that's why we do this night and morning. Otherwise, they don't grow properly. So just, again, cool water. Rinse it. It's not very exciting, but that's what you do. Not very exciting to watch on a video. And that's what you do. And that's all there is to it. It takes just a few seconds. But as I said before, it's remembering to do it that's the tricky part. So we'll put these back and we'll see what happens on the morning of day 2 with our broccoli sprouts. Growing broccoli sprouts. Good morning, day 2 of broccoli sprouts. So let's see how they did overnight. We grab them out of the cabinet and give them a little check. Okay, so you can see they're really making some progress. They kind of fell in the bottom. But again, they're a little bit dry. And sometimes you will see as they send out their little sprout that it looks a little like there's little hairs coming off of the sprout. And it kind of looks like they're moldy, but they're not. They're sending out little feelers to get moisture. And so we know then it's time for us to rinse them for sure. And we're doing it every night and morning, as you know. So we rinse them, give them their fluid, their hydration. And it's really very simple. Though you do want to kind of separate them. Make sure you get enough water to separate out the sprouts. And they're just doing great. And then once you've rinsed them, you'll see that those little fuzzy parts, little hair-like parts are gone. They've got the water they need, and they're looking amazing. All right, they go back into the dark and cool place to continue growing. And that's it. Day 2 morning, rinsing our broccoli sprouts. Hello, and it's the evening of day 2. So let's check on our sprouts. They've been here in the dark all day, and now they're coming out. Broccoli sprouts. Oh, look at that. Okay, so you're going to see those little white little pieces coming off of it. The little white parts that are looking for moisture. So let's give it to them. You can see they're really growing. The sprouts are coming out, getting bigger and bigger. Such a miracle, isn't it? Out of little seeds come all this goodness. And so everything that would go into the broccoli, into the big plant and then grow broccoli, is now just concentrated in these sprouts. And when we eat them, they are just so healthy for us and delicious. They have a little bit of they're a little, spicy is not the right word, but they have a little bit of bitterness, a little tiny bit. But on avocado toast, they just taste great, and in salads. All right, so we're headed into day 3, and you will see by the end of day 3, we're going to have some great sprouts. Good morning, my friends. Here we go, morning day 3. Just finished my Peloton, my bike ride, a little sweaty, feels good, but time to tend to our broccoli sprouts. So let's see how they did overnight. There they are. And look at them, they're beautiful. Sprouts are getting longer, getting better and better. So let's wash them, rinse them again. And they start to intertwine, which is fine, except that when you rinse them, then they can kind of break up. It's much easier to use them if they're not all clumped together. So that's part of what does this. See how they're all now just separated? And then we just rinse it. Now, some people want to take away the seeds. You'll see the brown bits of the outer coating of the seed, the broccoli seed. I'm like, there's got to be something good in there, if not just fiber. And it's just a big pain for me to even worry about that. So I don't worry about the brown seed coverings. I just leave them there and they're just fine. So second rinse. I think we're going to see by tonight, probably tomorrow morning, we're going to be good to go. And there's one really important step left to go. So there you go, little broccoli seeds. Let's go. They're sprouting, they're growing. And that, my friends, is nature at its best, giving us all the nutrition we need. So I'll see you in a few hours. Hello again, night of day 3. Let's check on our sprouts. I'm thinking this is going to be our last night. Yes, look at those sprouts. They're so beautiful. So they're fully formed. You can see the sprouts are getting a little more full. And so I will rinse them. And then this is the last step. I will leave this out on the counter in a slant to drain off. But I am going to now leave it out for the night because in the morning when the sun comes up, it will start to use photosynthesis to turn these little leaves. You can see little leaves are coming out of the sprouts. It's our last day of broccoli sprout growing, the most exciting day. I left the sprouts out overnight on the counter. So when the sun came up, it did its wonderful work turning these sprouts green. So you see last night they were yellow and this morning they are green. The little leaves coming off the sprouts have become even more nutritionally dense and healthy. So our sprouts are done. We're ready to put them in the fridge and so that we can enjoy them. So I just have a mason jar. You want wide mouth because we want to get the sprouts out of it. So this is just a regular wide mouth small mason jar. And then this is a Better Than Bouillon. I save every glass jar because glass is so good to store in. And so this is Better Than Bouillon jar. Works great. So what we're going to do is just take the sprouts out of our jar, and you want them to be loose. We don't want them to be packed in there because they won't do as well, and you want to have air around them. And we want them to be separated. Like I said, when we're rinsing them, we want them to be separated. They will grow a little bit more while they're in the fridge, but not much. And so this is about the way you're going to see them. Oh, they're so yummy. They're so healthy. So then we just put the lid on that one and put the rest in this. And again, you don't want to pack it too tight. Pop them in there. And here you can see that a lot of the seed coverings, the pods, are left kind of on the sides of the jar. And that's fine. I don't need to get every single sprout out. And we don't need to eat the seed coverings. And so let's get out most of the sprouts and we're good to go. We've got 2 full small jars. This will last a week and a half, maybe 2, depending on how much you eat them. And again, avocado toast, in a salad, in a wrap, just anywhere you would use greens, put in some broccoli sprouts. So healthy, so nutritious, and easy, right? You can do this. So I hope you will try some broccoli sprouts and gain the health benefits that come from eating these foods. The other thing I love about broccoli sprouts is imagine if there were a time when the food supply was compromised. And we all know, we've heard about that all the time. Thankfully, it hasn't really happened that much. But if it did, fresh food might not be as available. Well, if you can grow broccoli sprouts, you've got nutrition, you've got greens, you've got health. And so it's just a wonderful thing to have just kind of in storage. So broccoli sprouts, you got to love them.